Hello.
Hello, welcome
Hello.
back. Thanks, Matt. Everyone to session 52 of our Pathfinder 2nd Edition campaign. How's everyone doing?
Yeah,
How's
ready
everyone
to
doing?
rock and roll.
Yeah. English. I have to get into English mode. Right, well, if everyone's ready, then we'll get right into it. So last we left off, the party, you've just defeated Malathar, and put an end, well, a seeming end, to his plans underneath the city of Lenora to do something to do with Ashad. But now that Ashad's soul warrior, his right-hand man, has been destroyed, the party face more pressing issues, I guess. So last session, Daeron Kaidos escaped the fight in Lenora and is travelling north to regroup. In his possession is the Padrin of all Adana, the Emperor of the Sidan people. I should put some music on, maybe. The Emperor of the Sidan people, and his cousin, Prince Holthisius, is now acting as Padrin in his stead, and has declared war on House Kaidas and their allies. Tansine Malfire, brother-in-law to Hanera, he has betrayed House Trisfair and has sided with Daeron Kaidos, who has clearly promised him the whole of House Trisfair's lands if he betrays his former masters. While Duranda Ignis, Cyan's quarry, is currently with Daeron Kaidos, and is heading north along with him, having escaped as well. So the party are currently in the palace of the Padrin. Let's say that Prince Orthisius has all called everyone together in the war room to make a plan. So in the war room of the Palace of the Prophet, this large circular room with a table carved into the shape of the islands of Adana is set up with carved pieces representing the forces of each house. A number of high lords and generals who happen to just be in the city are taking notes and have sided, with Prince Holthisius, are taking notes as he speaks. He says, let me just turn the music down a second. At our best estimations, 90% of our forces are currently in Rodrana. We're almost completely defenseless. How did we not see this coming? My prince, a grizzled House Valoran general says, our enemies will need time to regroup and go on the offensive. This city could survive an assault from 1 million traitor scum. While we hide in our walls like cowards, Prince Holthisius says, I will not let Daeron Kaidos gallivant around claiming Akate as his own. We need to get our forces back as quickly as possible. Make it happen. And the general nods and backs away, pushing through the crowd. He looks over to a Sidan woman, dressed very formally in a silk dress, and covered with kind of gold jewelry, like bands and bangles and earrings. Zanara, he says. Anything to say? Zanara pulls out a deck of cards and shuffles them. She picks 3 cards from the deck and studies them for a second. Where one war starts, another can end, she says. The Rodrans can and will negotiate peace if we ask for it. Prince Holthisius says, very well, we'll try and organize that as well. You hear from the back someone pushing through the crowd saying, my prince, my prince, my prince! And the crowd kind of parts as a messenger, a disheveled-looking young knight fresh from the road, pushes through the crowd and bows deeply. The prince motions for him to continue. My prince, Tor Myron at your service with news from the town of Reese. High Lord Trenwyn, he had to surrender to an expeditionary force ruled by Marish Kaidos, using his father's name and reputation to get them to open the gates. He claimed my lord was hiding enemies of the crown, but once inside took control of the city. So House Kaidos controls the lands north of the River Lenore now, Prince Holthisius says. He is asserting his claim on our lands. The knight says, aye, my prince. There was a small number at first, but before long, some 30,000 soldiers or so have since descended. An estimation. Duskbrand, to the prince's right, says, That's not enough to besiege the city, at least. And Prince Orthisius says, we're starting to look very surrounded. Duranda Ignis will surely head south and assault Kelrius once he has ample ability to. And after the humans are pushed from the south, they'll support any attack on Lenora. He motions to you all and to Silver Shadow and says, anything to say?
Yes, I have a question. With oh my god, what are they called? Ignis's troops going south towards Calrius. What do you think their goal is with that? To take Calrius and then the banking guilds won't be on their side anymore?
Duskbrand kind of stands up and says, House Ignis has always laid a claim on the city of Calrius. It is a holy city amongst Sidon.
But don't the banking guilds also want it? So if they took it, then they wouldn't be allied with the banking guilds anymore.
Unless that's what the banking guild's offering them.
It may well be.
Yeah. Ah, fuck. My soup is hot. Sorry, it's just on my tongue.
From what I know of Duranda Ignis, he chafes under the influence of the humans. He speaks. I have heard him speak of taking Calrius back as a holy city. Its importance to the elves. I would hazard to say that he sees this alliance as merely a stepping stone for taking Adana for a purely elvish settlement. I do not see his alliance with the banking guild as lasting.
Whatever alliance they have, Prince Orthisius says, it cannot be tolerated, even for a moment. We need to do everything we can to stop them on all fronts. And if that means allying with the Adana Merchant Company and just providing any assistance we can to the city of Kelrius, we will do that.
If it would please my prince, eventually I hope to take us to Adanira. Not as a frontal assault, but stoking tensions within that place.
Do you know something of it?
I know there are minor houses which despise House Ignis that we may take advantage of. I also have heard tale of numerous other forces that lay within those borders that may cause problems for Duranda Ignis if we... He is a proud man. If we insult him as such by providing enough dissent in Adanira, it may force his hand and may cause him to retreat.
Well, we do now know who has the true power in House Ignis. It is certainly not Duranda's father. I will go on.
Perhaps if we were to give another house an offer to replace House Ignis, if they supported us in taking them down, it may provide enough to stoke
Yeah.
a civil war.
Well, Duranda Ignis isn't the High Lord, is he?
He is a High Lord, but he's not the leader of the house.
Right.
That's his father.
Maybe we could get him on side. Is that what you just said?
Is that what you suggested?
I was more suggesting giving another house within that area more control.
Right. I think we should go to Duranda Ignis's father, Terranar Ignis, because he's nice.
I don't think so. He's weak, milquetoast. He could not halt Doranda's advances. From what I know, Doranda believes that Terranar allows people to walk over him. He may allow us to walk over him, but blood may come first.
Right.
I think he's too fragile to be considered a suitable ally.
Um, I disagree, but yeah, I mean we don't have to do that, so don't worry.
Silver Shadow says, I suppose it is something that we can always talk about in private. She says to the prince, oh, hang on just a second. Where am I? Oh yeah, she says, my prince, just as a moment to ask, I would like the opportunity to take a look around the palace. Perhaps these adventurers may join me. Hopefully we may find some more information that could come in handy. Prince Althisius nods. Very well. You all did our city a great service. See to it that you do not disturb the space too greatly. The traitors may have left traps behind, and we will need all the hands we can get.
It will be like we were never here.
He nods, then motions for you to leave if you wish.
Okay, I'll leave.
So Silver Shadow sort of walks through the crowd alongside the rest of you. As she steps out of the doors, she kind of almost half crumples up. She kind of goes to almost into a fetal position just outside the doorway for half a second and begins shaking with pain. She's like, "Argh!" Before after a moment, she sort of gets back up again.
And we see that happen.
Yeah.
And then give her a little heal.
You can if you'd like. It doesn't do anything though.
Okay.
She says, "Come on, we gotta go."
Kind of look at everyone else. Kind of like that's strange.
Has
Aye,
he
man.
been taking lately?
That fight, I had yes. I thought I needed all the power I could get, and now I'm feeling the consequences.
It's good though, I imagine.
Good, bad. It's different to anything you can imagine. It's a view into the abyss.
It's so valuable to elves that to do magic that you risk this.
Think of our society, she says. A society that magic is not predominantly used. Think of the advantages one could get, even from small little spells. The ability to cheat at cards, or steal.
I mean, in this world, right, if you don't have magic, your race is pretty much doomed.
Aye.
Get, well, you know, like we saw a few decades ago, you know, foreign invaders coming over and can pretty much just take what they want.
No need to boast, but yes.
I mean, you
I
know,
wouldn't have-
it weren't a bunch of orcs coming over doing it, you know. I don't think. Might have been some with them, I don't know, but weren't me, you know.
She says, exactly. The elven people have long lives and longer memories. And on the surface, they might look like everything's okay, but this is the result from those conflicts all that time ago. It's men like Daer and Kaidus reaching for more and more.
Yeah. Hard not to hold a grudge.
From what I know, elves and their need for magic has caused more harm than good.
Well, you say that, but would they still exist if none of them used it? Would they just be this, well, insignificant little group forever? Power of a civilization with or without magic is hardly comparable.
The thing about people is, people adapt to challenges, their issues. It's what defines a people.
Or they
The-
die.
Well, the vast majority of elves distrust magic with a fervor. It's considered taboo almost, and they seem to be doing perfectly fine.
Well, at least they were. Until some people with it turned up. And, yeah, home field advantage, pretty much all what's, well, kept them here, right?
Silver Shadow stops you all nearby a kind of like locked wooden oak door, barred in kind of iron. She tries the handle and says, "Damn it, it's locked." Anyone want to give it a try?
Got a crowbar. We care about this door staying intact.
He did ask for us to not disturb this place too greatly.
Well, why don't you have a little pick?
I can have a go.
We haven't long rested, have we?
Not yet.
Okay, that's fine. Oh well, I can't help.
I can have a go at it.
Let's give it a try.
Oh wait, I think I can cast guidance. Ah. 300, can I? There you go.
Yeah, if you make is it thievery?
Public or
Yeah, make it public.
It's a name perception check.
23? Then
23,
because of guidance.
Yeah, that's enough. A light click and the door swings open, revealing a auspicious kind of bedroom with a four-poster bed. You know, all the trimmings, red silk sheets, a desk with some kind of notes on them, as well as like a bunch of chests that have like piled kind of folded clothes in them and just various things. Silver Shadow says, Darren Kaitis' chambers whilst in the palace. Maybe there'll be something here.
I don't know.
Is it
They're
worth you doing checking the if there's any magic in this room? Traps,
Oh
etc.
yeah, I will do that.
I was in Darren Kaitis' vault and his personal safe. There might be traps here. If he wants something hidden, he goes above and beyond, and opening this was remarkably easy.
It's worth a
Yeah.
try. Detect magic.
If it's his bedroom, he's walking in and out all the time. It doesn't need a fancy lock, right? Doesn't
So
wanna
there's
unlock it. Sorry.
so there's only one place in the room that you can detect magic coming from. That's
Mhm.
just under the bed. There seems to be like a glow of some sort of magic.
What school of magic is it?
Hang on. It's not necromancy, so that's the first time.
Yeah.
It's divination.
Okay.
Can we go for it?
Yeah.
Towards it?
Should I have a look?
Yeah.
Peeking your head under the bed, you see kind of covered up with a bit of a cloth. There's something round under the bed, just in it like kind of in a box, a
Mhm.
kind of shallow box. It's just poking out of it. Sliding it out. Are you going to take the cloth off?
I don't know who's holding it, but Joanne.
I'll
sorry,
do it.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be a crystal ball of some sort, a scrying orb.
Ooh, fancy. Is it currently being used?
It doesn't seem to be. No, it
Mhm.
just seems like just a completely transparent crystal ball currently. Silver Shadow kind of looks over your shoulder and says, "Oh, I haven't seen one of those in a while.
Yeah.
What is it for?
It's for scrying. I did not know Darren Kaidos was privy to that sort of
I
magic."
didn't mean to put that in the chat, so I was just reading it.
Of course, everyone thinks that these Silver Shadow says. Of course, everyone thinks that these things can cause people to scry. It's more like a conduit for you to route your magic through. It makes it a lot further, almost as like a magnification lens.
Oh, so where he is now, he could cast a spell through this.
No, it's more like if you were to cast a spell through it, it could go further.
Okay.
Okay. When we say further, how far further do we mean?
Depends on the scrying orb. Hang on. Depends on the scrying orb. She says, this one. I think this is top of the line. I bet you could scry on Darren Kaidos right now with this.
But I don't have the scrying spell. Do I need it?
We can channel it as a ritual if you channel it with me.
Yep, let's do it.
Well, hold on. He would presumably know that we are doing this,
Yeah, but he wouldn't be surprised, right?
but he would know the scrying orb is being used.
Only if it's like the spell I know, only if he is trying to see it.
It should be, hopefully, unless there is someone there who is capable of the magic required to spot such a thing. It should be undetectable.
Is this like a Palantir moment?
She sets the orb down on the desk and sort of drags another chair over to it. Sort of sits you just facing her, and as you both like put a hand on the orb. Are you going to help her with it?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. Can you make an Arcana check for me, please?
20.
Okay. So Silver Shadow just takes out from her just before she starts to mutter the incantation. She takes out a small bit of Acidian and just places it on the tip of her tongue before she continues on.
I turn a blind eye.
You see kind of like just coming from her mouth, like blue veins kind of begin to almost pop out the skin, crawling almost up her cheeks for a moment before they kind of turn blackish and then just reabsorb back into her skin. All of her veins begin to sort of turn a bit more purple and like a bit brighter, and her eyes seem to glow with a kind of magical aura. She mutters an incantation in kind of ancient Sidan under her breath, and where are we? And the silver orb, the transparent orb suddenly flicks to a deep purple swirl of cloud. In the center, a small white light appears, and then fills the sphere with a projection of a tent with two people stood inside. The first is Darren Kaidos, who is brushing off his cloak and beginning to take off his armor from what seems to have been a long ride. The other is a figure stood tall in a long black cloak. He brushes his cloak aside and takes out from within a small pocket a vial, holding it carefully between his gloved hands. For you, as promised. Darren Kaidos looks up and stops. He slowly walks over to the cloaked figure and takes the vial out of his hands. How many doses does it contain? Darren asks. 10, the cloaked figure says. To do with as you wish. The master wishes to let you know that he is pleased with your progress. Darren uncorks the vial and squeezes a drop out with the pipette onto his tongue. About time, he says. You may remind your master that our arrangement has always been both ways. I'm old. I might not have much longer left. You'll be pleased to know that your payment is here, then, the cloaked figure says, and bows. From within his cloak, he pulls out a serrated black dagger, and in a flicker of a moment, he dashes forward and runs Darren Kaidas through the chest. This is the master's way. You watch as Darren's eyes widen, and he gurgles out a sliver of blood. Unable to form any last words, he slumps to the floor, gently guided down by the cloaked figure. He splays out across the bearskin rug, which covers the floor, and breathes his last breath. The cloaked figure bends and picks up the vial, and calmly places it on the bedside table. He pulls a stopwatch out of his pocket, and begins to watch it intently. After 30 seconds or so, Darren's body begins to writhe in inhuman ways, bending and cracking as it twists around on the rug. Suddenly, he gasps, and his eyes open, he scrambles to his feet. He begins to cower away from his murderer. You, Darren says. You killed me. And the master's gift returned you, the cloaked figure says, as your heart always intended. Darren looks down at his fingers in shock and then at his stab wound. You watch as it kind of begins to stitch itself up, and before long it looks completely healed, albeit with a kind of thin white scar. So this, Darren says, this is immortality. Silver Shadow breaks the spell. I've seen enough. What was that?
Well, it looks like he has 9 lives left. No,
Did
sorry.
we all see it?
Yeah, you could all like watch it through the orb.
Oh,
What?
that's
So he's being
perturbing.
controlled by someone.
Not
Did we
so many.
recognize the voice?
That was the same cloaked figure. You didn't recognize the voice, but it was the same cloaked figure as Cyan saw speaking to Darren Kaidas before.
I thought so.
Did the serrated black dagger seem recognizable from anywhere?
Make a society check.
Because there was that dagger all the way at the start of the campaign. I don't think any of us saw it.
No, you
We
did
did see a fancy ornate dagger at the start.
We did see it.
Yeah, you did see it.
Day.
Did you make a society? Oh, you
Yeah,
did.
30.
30. It doesn't look like the one you saw at the start of the campaign.
Mm.
It doesn't look like anywhere in particular. It kind of just has a very dark kind of alloy that it's made of. Yeah, it's quite hard to know what it's made from.
Okay.
But it looked pretty painful. But yeah, I mean, Silver Shadow says, I've heard theories on how the immortal elves lost their immortality, but does that mean such a thing could be reversible? Could it be that Darren Kaidas has just done what no other Sidon has managed?
My food's done, I'll be right back.
Okay. The cloaked figure mentioned 10 doses. You might be able to do such a thing to 9 others then.
Oh, do you not think it is possible that he can only be killed 9 times? Or is he now immortal?
Sorry, what's this about? What? So 9 others? What? Where's this come from?
The cloaked figure mentioned there was 10 doses. Darren Kaidas took one.
Oh, right.
Could he not take more himself? Once it wore off, or if he dies, it then, becomes null and void.
It looked more like a transformation than anything else, Silver Shadow said.
Like a permanent thing, not a thing he takes when he's going into a fight or something.
I'm not sure whether it could be classified as permanent. But I don't know. Yeah. More information will be needed.
Yeah, might make taking him down a little tricky. I'll just kind of look over to Henning. You know anything about that? Seen that? Don't suppose you've been run through with that dagger or anything before?
Vance appears.
Ah.
Sort of like a sliver of fire from the tip of
I'm back.
Henning's sword.
Probably the best person to ask.
He says, it's permanent, I'm afraid. I did not think that was possible, though. Never seen anything like that.
Think what was possible? Sorry, I'm back. I didn't know what happened.
There is a way to bring a mortal elf into immortality.
Would it only work on elves?
Unfortunately, humans were not originally designed with such
Parts.
things. Yes. Elves, however, it's more natural for them to be immortal. You see, it's a curse that was put onto them to be mortal.
A curse, you say?
A curse by Fandarin, yes.
Sorry, did you mean curse to be immortal or curse to be mortal?
A curse to be mortal.
Okay.
Oh, what a curse! Oh, sure would suck to be mortal.
Oh, yes.
After 3,000 years of immortality,
Yeah. I'm just being a dick.
I am curious. Say you live for 3,000 years as an immortal elf, and then all of a sudden your immortality goes away. Do you just park it then and there, or
the
No, you-
elves. Oh.
I'm 3,000 years old.
No, you're not. I bet you, yeah.
Earlier looks about. Yeah, looks about right.
This is not Lord of the Rings.
Damn
don't
it.
look a day over
This is like
22,500?
117, I think. Anyway, that's
Yeah, you're a teenager. You're a teenager. 117. Yes, Silver Shadow says, then how do we defeat Kaidos? To Vance, and Vance says, well, that would be giving the game away, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, but also tell us because we need to kill him very badly.
Well, I have, not to be rude, but in 1,000 years he'll be still here, and I'll have to deal with him. None of you will be.
Not if we deal with him.
What about if we cut him up and take all the different parts and bury them?
And set them on fire.
I will tell you one way.
Okay.
He will not do very well without a head.
But if you sewed it back on, would he come back to life?
No.
Oh,
The
okay.
decapitation will be the thing that will finally kill him.
Well,
Okay, but that would just kill anyone.
no shit.
Sure, but that's
I mean, it wouldn't kill someone who didn't have a head.
That is also true.
Because
I
they would
let you-
probably be dead. People can't
I-
have no head.
I let you into that one because, as you can probably tell, I don't have a corporeal form, so decapitating me isn't going to
Yeah.
be so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why you were coy about it. Right, gotcha. I thought you were just being a dick.
Hey, I haven't got this far by telling everyone my mortal secrets.
That would be kind of a stupid thing to do.
But this is the problem, Vance says, in all seriousness. One of those doses can turn one person. He can turn 9 more. That could cause a lot of trouble.
So he could give Ignis this.
Silver Shadow kind of scratches her chin and says, Darren Kaidos is a very power-hungry figure. He would be very hesitant to give it to anyone outside of his immediate family. She says he has 4 sons, including the bastard, and a bastard daughter. Tybalt Kaidos is missing, so assuming he turns his remaining immediate family when he returns to Kadara, that means there will be 5 remaining doses.
Does he particularly care about his bastards?
He cares about them enough to treat them very well. And he does consider them family.
Rather progressive as far as lords go.
The girl called.
That is Vane Kaidos.
Lovely name.
She's been
yeah.
naturalized into the family.
What would happen if a non-elf took the vial?
Don't
Yes, what would
even
happen?
think about it.
No, what would happen?
Vance says, "You know what? I never saw anyone try it."
Oh,
Okay.
It's worth thinking about.
So there's about as much chance of it working as there is them spontaneously combusting.
Well, I suppose.
I mean, you know, just because the odds are unknown, don't make everything 50-50.
I mean, sure, but it's imaginary numbers. At the end of the day, we don't know we don't know these percentages.
Yeah, I mean, you can just leave it at not knowing, right?
It could be a 99% chance you spontaneously combust.
I think we're getting off topic a little.
Silver Shadow stands up and says, "I'm going to let the prince know about this. As for the rest of you,
Prince Volticius.
yes.
Do we call him
As for the rest-
Padron or just Prince now?
He is not the Padron.
He's not the patron. The patron is still alive. He's just
I
taken
didn't-
away.
What's his
I
first
was
name?
just concerned because, you know, acting
Volticius.
Padron.
Yeah, his name is Holt. His first name is Holt.
What do his mates call him?
Holt.
Ollie.
Holt.
Ali?
Right. Oh.
Holt.
Stuff.
All right. We there yet?
What?
Hey, well, you gonna go, do you want to go speak? I mean, like.
No, I meant,
she was just-
I meant like, are we there yet? As in, are we there yet? That we would call him Holt.
Oh no,
Oh.
definitely not.
Holty.
I might.
Yeah, you've already called him what you want. She says, "I'm going to go let him know." But as for the rest of you, maybe have a conversation about what you. Are you planning on leaving the city? Are you?
Well, we will discuss this between ourselves, but we'll let you know.
Very well. I will see you shortly. And she leaves the room. Vance sits himself down on one of the chairs and goes, "Oh, she's such a bore."
Silver
Well,
Shadow.
Yeah,
Why
Why?
is she such a bore?
she's just boring. I don't know. Do I have to justify why I think people are boring?
Yeah, you
Yes.
do actually.
When
All
you
right,
say
everybody, calm down.
when you say bad things about people, it should be for a reason rather than just, you know, otherwise that's just being spiteful.
Yeah, there's a reason. She's boring.
Yeah, she did help.
Right.
I mean, she did help save you from, you know, the whole sacrifice Malafar, you know, thing. So, you know.
Of
Oh,
which
come on,
we
I
all
saw-
saved.
Oh, come on, I saw her. She threw her like 5 spells out. It barely did anything.
She
I-
did give me the healing wand, so that did help as well.
Yeah, can't help but think it wasn't worth you the cost with the Achidian, right? Like, well, she tried. All right.
Anyway, he stands up and says, "I suppose I've got to thank you for your help, all of you."
I cut into
Especially
your
me,
chest
because
hole.
I told them go.
Yeah, you seem
I
to enjoy
did
that, Cyan.
surgery. It was very fun. It was very funny to see the same wound appear on Henning's chest. That was great.
Yes, that still hurts, by the way.
Like you got to stab Henning without having to actually stab him.
I know it was like portal magic.
Let's not do it again.
Vance walks up to you, Henning, and just puts a hand on your shoulder, and you feel like a deep burning sensation coming from his hand into your shoulder.
Oh, what are you doing?
And after a second, he takes it away and says, "There we are. As promised, your life, or whatever."
What do you mean? What have you done?
I've unattached our souls. You're welcome.
So I'm free from you.
Free. Well, I'm still attached to the sword. I can't really go very far from that.
No,
But if I die,
I
You
don't
won't.
die.
yes.
Well, that is a good start.
What do you want, Vance?
He turns around and looks directly at you and says, "More people should ask questions like that. That's perfect, isn't it? What do I want? Well, right now, I'd quite like to know what the hell Malathar was doing." And what damage he did to Ashad's prison.
And long term? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
5 years, that's like a blink of an eye to me.
Okay, where do you see yourself in your equivalent to our 5 years?
Hmm.
Not
On a
sure you
beach
could have an
somewhere.
equivalent, could you?
Well, I've been in a lot of uncomfortable places for a long time. I'd quite like to retire, I think.
Retire?
Yes,
you-
I'm finding the whole convince people that they're important and then get them to do vicious things to each other. It's kind of boring now.
It only took you a few
Hang on a
thousand
minute.
years to realize that.
It's okay, Henning. You are important. Don't
Yeah,
listen to him.
yeah. Well, I am important at the moment. I've got you inside my sword.
Yeah, you weren't when he found you, but you are now.
Importance is overrated.
If this prison you speak of,
Yes.
Ashad's prison, I presume you want us to go and check on it.
Well, it would only be a brief detour, but yes, if you could spare the time.
Where is it?
It's in Mount Sidan, Mount Sida. It's about here. It's near Kadara.
Big zone that.
Okay, make it out.
It's deep under the mountain, of course, hidden away. I'm sure none of your elven friends' eyes have ever laid eyes on it, nor their ancestors. But I know where it is.
What about Azira? Would they know?
They've barely got written language.
Yeah, but stories are told by more than just words. You of all people probably know that.
They might have an idea, but I'd prefer that they didn't. I've not told anyone.
Why not?
Because it's the one thing that could really fuck my day up.
Yeah, so that's what's important here.
So, assuming that Ashad's prison is hunky-dory, and all the chains are not damaged in any way, I will be able to say goodbye to this sword, hopefully, and travel across the universe, floating around in my incorporeal form forever.
Riveting.
But
You're quite a boy yourself.
there is something quite amusing about our arrangement here. You see, you claim that you hold the strings here, and no doubt in 10,000 years you will be here, I will not, but you need us, do you not? We cannot do what you need without us going to this place, so you're going to have to put up with us for a little while, even if we choose to do things first that you'd prefer we did not.
Yes, like I said, a year for me is like a blink of an eye.
Also, we could just chuck the sword into a volcano if we got tired of you.
He looks quite nervous that you said that. Please don't do that.
Oh shit, they know my one weakness.
Then maybe be nicer to us next time.
Oh, fine. I'll be nice. But please, just at some point, I just need to check on that temple.
Was Eritza like this with you? That I'm right on it. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
What did you say?
Was Eritza like this? Were you jovial with him, and was he slightly jovial with you? Because I always got the impression he was definitely not a bore.
No, he was pretty smart, actually. He was a good thinker. He had a lot of interesting ideas. And you know
Like
what?
what?
Actually, most of what he did was on his own back. I just was along for the ride.
So why did you bother possessing him?
Possession. It sounds so harsh, doesn't it? Do you consider Henning possessed?
I'm not. I feel like I have some free will, right?
He fights like a man possessed sometimes.
Well, it was exactly the same with Eret Tsar, just propaganda. That's all.
So you were cohabiting.
I was more, yes, pretty much. It was before I was confined to my first prison, so I was enjoying the freedom. Well, it had been
Yeah.
a very long time since I'd found anyone with the brains that he had.
Mm. I'd always
You know-
like to go visit his grave under the. Is it it's in the Regidai Empire? It's under the what's it called?
Oh, in the Commonwealth, there's there's the obelisk.
Yeah, that's it. I
Of
always
his
wanted
house.
to visit there. My cousin visited once. He said it was all a bit dull, but
Oh, yeah, let's just go. Let's just go there.
Yeah, let's just go all the way to the Regidai Empire.
suggest that. But did you ever visit him there?
No. After people die, I tend to move on.
I do like an insight check there.
Yeah, I got.
You mentioned he was a good thinker. Did you think he was a good person?
Well, I don't think any of you are good people. So doesn't
Well,
really
fuck
matter.
you.
What?
He's
Do you
got-
think I'm a good
I mean-
person?
No.
Oh, exactly.
No.
It doesn't matter, does it?
What?
Good people don't hang out with people that they consider not good people. That's what I'm saying.
I
What
got
do
a
you consider a good
27.
person?
I don't know. Those people who like meditate on mountaintops and get themselves killed by bandits. They're so good.
Yeah, Cascus got a 27.
27. What was that, Sorry, remind me.
So the question was basically, because like the obelisk is like pretty ceremonial.
Oh yeah, has he actually been there?
Has he like I'm trying to test like whether or not like he's actually under there, because I mean Cascus probably isn't wholly convinced.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Vance says Vance sort of looks like he doesn't give a shit
Okay.
about where Eretz might be buried.
Fine. Okay, that's fine.
He just legitimately does not care.
Okay. Cool. We shall leave that mystery for another day.
Well, any other questions before I try and get some of my lost power back? It's going to take a while.
Where does the name Vance come from?
I don't know. I just saw it in a book. I quite liked it.
Fair.
Okay, we'll
I've had 100 names. After like the 5th, you stop caring that much about where they come from.
And you decide to not go around saying, "Oh, I'm Eritza, the fucking Eritzari." It's not Eritzar, Zulnakar. I
Well,
possessed Eritza. Ooh.
I never went by that name. That was a name given to me.
Was Seraphia?
Seraphiel was the name I went by, yes. For a long time.
Nick seemed to know you by that name.
Aye, and as I knew Nyx by another name too. A long time ago.
What other name?
Vanya.
Fanny.
Nyx a bit. That's not me anymore. Vance says, yes, when we last met. Well, let's say we weren't on the same side. Like, the smile is a wide smile. Nyx just sort of looks a bit pissed off.
Well,
You didn't, you know.
They both look at you. What?
I don't think that's what Vance was implying. Sorry.
I don't know. It could have been a messy breakup.
No, I think that wasn't quite what.
Right.
No.
Okay.
Your Fey companion was a bit of a traitor in her day.
Oh, do tell.
Gab.
Well, maybe we shall let Nyx explain this one. And
Uh,
in time.
Nyx says, I stood up for what I thought was right, and I was banished along with my kind to the gloom for it. I do not regret it. And she says to Vance, you betrayed him too, if you remember. And Vance says, oh yes, well that was for a better reason.
You're a bit of a narcissist.
What's that? Oh, I
You
don't
don't-
care.
Then he starts crying into
I'm
a
not-
book.
He puts his fingers in his ears. I
It
can't
goes
hear you,
back,
can't
goes
hear you.
back into the sword.
Yeah, he's
cries.
gone. Nyx sits down. Everything he said was true.
Do not beat yourself up for it. You are probably just doing what you thought was right.
Yes. I still think it was right. But yes.
What was it?
It was during the Age of Gods when there was peace in our land. It was before the wars and the Titans. I'm sure you know about that. There was a number of us who thought that we could rule ourselves, that we did not need the gods to tell us what we could and couldn't do. So we stood with someone who eventually betrayed us all, and we paid the price for it.
Narcimel.
No. Narcimel came to me long after I had already been in the gloom. This was back in the days of the immortal elves and the city-states, the flying cities in the sky.
So this other person.
It's long in the past now.
Okay. Are you okay?
She sits down and says, it's just Malathar and Ashad, all this stuff. It's got me thinking. So I was one of the first immortal elves, bred to fight in the wars against the Titans, against the elemental beings. I don't know. It just feels like there's a lot that could go wrong. It was not a great time.
Other elementals are there. I'm only familiar with the Shad, and I have heard rumorings of that there are others, but I have seen nothing of them.
The latent energy fields or something about the planet of Erd almost creates sentient energy beings out of nothing. It's impossible to truly control it.
It is fine, but it coalesced, in the case of Ashad, it has coalesced around a creature in some semi-corporeal way. It is
A mind. a mind more than a creature.
A mind, but presumably a shad is a mind for fire elementals. Are
Yes.
they not minds for the others?
Yes, of course. Yes.
Would Caskets be familiar with lodestones? Is that like a fairly commonly known
Yeah.
thing across Orthaid?
Yeah.
And is it anything to do with how lodestones work? I do not understand the connection.
Between elementals and lodestones.
Yes, in the case of beings like a shad here, it is confusing to me.
So, effectively, all things made of fire on Erd are ultimately controlled by one mind, which is a shad. Since Fandaren conquered this planet and banished a shad within the depths of it, fire acts on a kind of base instinct, I guess you could describe it. The way that you see fire, the way that it acts, it's only because the shad is sleeping. If a shad was to awaken, fire would have a mind of its own, a conscious mind, as part of a hive mind, I guess.
Okay.
There are other elementals that are banished, but they are banished under different continents. So only a shad is banished in Adana.
I understand. Thank you for clearing that up. Should we these corridors are getting a little chilly, and I worry who listens in.
Well, where do you wish to go? What do you wish to do?
Well, all good problems are solved with a drink, are they not? And I think we have earned one. Or two.
What problems have you been having?
Was that?
What problems have you been having? If they can be solved with a drink.
Well, it is usually a drink in somebody else's hand, rather than my
yeah.
own.
Yeah, I think if all your problems are solved by drink, then you got a one very specific problem actually.
I meant other people drinking the alcohol, and then you guys are no fun. I'm going to the pub.
Okay, so are you going to heads heavy rest?
I'm gonna
I'm
treat
going
us
to
to
the
the fun
Might and
pub.
Fine.
Yeah, man, let's try. I feel like we're gonna have more real estate there. So
Do you think they'll be having anyone in the pipe one? What's it called?
Capavera.
Capavera.
Yeah, I don't. I. They're not like doing any performances. I think it's because there's a bit of an emergency going on. But you make your way into the Might and Fine. The barkeep there. What's her name? Sorry, my notes are a bit messed up.
her name is. No, not there. What was her name? I'm trying to go through my notes.
Anyway, carrying on.
I'm gonna keep on finding it.
Her,
You've been going
she
upstairs
sort
with
of looks over to you and asks what you'd like to drink, sorts you out. Any news from the palace?
I don't know if we're allowed to discuss that with the public as of right now.
Oh, not good news then. I heard about the adventurers who took over the ship in the bay.
They must be dashing.
Seraphina of Silvermore.
Oh yeah. All right. So she sort of sorts you out with drinks. Don't worry about payment. You find like a quiet corner.
Mm.
Begin to talk amongst yourself.
Instead of finding a quiet corner, why don't we all go and have a nice bath? Talk about it in the bath. Then we can all get this soot
Together
off
in the
to
bath?
us.
What is your thing with baths?
I actually didn't grow up on a farm in the countryside, living in holes dug out of the ground, so I like to be clean.
Okay,
Is that how
but
you grew
like
up, Siam?
everywhere. No, actually, I grew up in a kind of like a tribal
Was
tent camp area.
Was that racist?
What's that?
There is like
racist?
like latent fucking nobility just came out for a second.
It's just everywhere you go, it's the first thing on your mind. Like I can understand wanting to be clean, but
I would quite
God.
like to get clean.
When did you last have a bath? It's
Have
been
you
like
ever had
two,
a bath?
That
it's
is a
been like
personal
2 days.
question.
We went in the sea, right? So I've still got all salt crystals all over me. It's gonna make my skin dry. My hair is gonna be frizzy and disgusting and all dry. I need to wash that off my body. Or you're gonna get a rash as well if you don't do it.
I guess we better go have a bath.
Thank you.
No, I can't like the feel of the salt on my skin. It's like exfoliating.
Well, why don't you go to the sea?
Keeps me looking young as I do.
Nick
Yeah,
says.
Oh, you're young?
Nick says. Side doesn't need a bath. He just washes himself.
Next, we agreed not to talk about this.
Oh really?
Oh, you're one of those.
Oh, like Hank.
How come I have never seen you do this before?
Because I spent most of my life trying to hide the fact that I am what I am from people. You know,
when
it would be rather strange if I just showed up one day and there's just an elf doing it.
Doing what?
I used to have a cat, and I was always curious.
I am not a cat.
I was
You're a
always
fox, aren't
Yeah.
you?
More like dogs, really,
Oh,
aren't they?
how they made sure their more private areas were properly cleansed. I hope you do not kiss ladies with that, or men.
Could
or
you
others.
and Hank have a baby?
The mother didn't seem to complain. Don't you ever speak those words again.
Which
Alright,
words?
let's go to the bath. Let's go to the bath before it degrades further.
All right, you head up to the room that you paid for and begin to just relax. Take a moment to enjoy the comforts of such places, especially after your bruises and beating from Malathar. Like all of you have ash on your skin. It's kind of sore. A nice hot bath. It just is, just what you need.
No, the last time I was in here, I had just got my new abilities. I stayed here all night.
Yes.
It's quite dangerous sleeping in here, in a bath.
Well, the water when I woke up was all evaporated. Well, at least in the part I was at.
Okay, but you went to sleep in there in the first place. That's not a survival instinct.
I do not think I was really that aware of what was going on.
When you swallow water, do you just act like a kettle?
I do not know. Anyway, I wanted to use this space to maybe talk a bit about what we are going to do next. I think that we owe our benefactors a bit of a meeting back in Port Elron. Edrin, wrong one.
Be a long sail back to Port Dalron, and I think they might tell us to turn around.
Yeah.
Well, before we do that, I would quite like to send a message to Lady Mariana Trisfair just to give her an update on what's going on,
Ah,
I
yeah.
will pen that and send it with our feather token that we have. And then also, should I give her a feather token to send with it so she can reply, or just leave it?
Can you?
I don't know. She could probably just send a bird. Do they
She's
send
pretty.
birds?
She's pretty loaded, right? I think she can
Birds.
afford her own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a guy only wearing a loincloth with like a sack full of notes. And he goes, I have something for you. Your eyes only.
Yeah.
No? No one?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I do get it.
Okay.
Don't worry.
So okay, you can say.
I didn't, sorry, I didn't mean to sound so mean.
You're all so mean to me. You don't appreciate my jokes.
So
No,
you can send your feather token. That's fine. Do you know what message? It's a minute in length. So
Oh yeah, I haven't planned what I was gonna say. Where is the letter? Did you have the letter that Alora left?
oh, sorry.
Or just
I
the
just
general
gave
vibe?
you the gist. I told you the gist of it last session, but just as a reminder, it's basically just telling you that there was nothing that she could do. That Tanzine Malfire had made a secret plan with Deer and Kaidos that she didn't know about. But that hopefully they hadn't picked you up in the chaos. And to get the message that he is coming for House Trisfair stuff.
Okay, I'm just gonna say that general stuff, and also add on that they've taken the Padron with them northwest.
Cool, fantastic. Right, cool. What else?
I'll get rid of that from the old bag.
Cool. Yeah, it's like a small little token that it's almost like a what's it called? What's that? Oh, what's that paper folding? Origami. There we go. It's almost like a little little origami crane that as you unfold it, it just turns into a sort of paper bird that you can attach something to.
Cute.
It sort of ruffles itself and then flies out the window at your command.
That doesn't seem like a particularly viable material for long travels.
There's magic in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it only goes for 10 hours, so...
I've worked it out.
Yeah, it is far enough. It goes quite fast, 30 miles per hour, just jump out the window.
For a
Very good.
bird.
That is good that you have done that. It is important that we will be making allies during this war. I fear the Trisfairs may be one of those, and are also in trouble. But so also, and he kind of turns to Cyan. Was your point at the council meeting about Adenira? We should definitely help, but I do not think now is the time.
No. Traveling there would be difficult. We have... there are those pathways that we use that I was thinking, if we get some things sorted before the full moon, we can go then.
For sure. I think that is a sensible option. It gives us a reasonable amount of time to try and make some progress there.
It would be a thing of when the full moon comes around, though, we would need to fucking hightail it because those things don't stick around.
I would not like to stay
Nyx
behind lines.
Nyx also appears and says, also, well, if you're planning on going to Port Edron, the prince did talk about trying to make a potential deal with the Rodrons. You have the ability to do that.
Yeah, I don't know if we do.
Well, you have more ability to contact her than they do. They don't know anything about her.
We need to try at least.
How do you know of our dealings with the Rodrons, Nyx?
Well,
was
she was
there.
there.
Oh, was she? Oh, I'm being stupid, sorry.
I was there. I was around.
You see, everyone thought I was crazy and was
Yeah,
talking
that's right. Yeah,
imaginary friends.
that's
I
true.
still think you're crazy.
Okay, fine.
If I'm crazy, it's not because of Nyx, it's because of something else.
Right.
Okay, I mean, we could also, and he tries to do a bit of a hushed tones, if the elves here are removing troops from Rotorana, it could potentially help the humans if they would wanted to expand their reach into the continent.
Still land belonging to people who could be our allies. Maybe we shouldn't be gambling away their livelihoods if we want to keep them on board.
Perhaps, but we could also be expanding the reach of the humans.
I think the humans have enough.
Well, I think. I do not necessarily agree. Greed is never-ending for us folk.
I can see that.
I would also like to go to Kelris. I fear Snaggensnot may be in danger of being killed.
Could go on the way to Port Edrin.
That would be nice. It would be good to see how things are and to check on a old acquaintance.
What old acquaintance?
Cascus blushes slightly.
Is it a noticeable blush?
Well, I mean, he's kind of like, yeah, I guess so, slightly. It kind of like trips him up a little bit. He wasn't expecting you to ask.
Do you have a boyfriend? Or a girlfriend? Or a them friend?
I feel like I did make a connection with somebody, but I fear it is they have moved on.
You mean
Aw.
someone cracked through that icy heart of yours?
I don't think it's that icy. I think underneath all that hard man position, he's very soft actually.
Little
Very kind
teddy
of you,
bear.
very kind of you to say, but I fear with my new burdens, I will be not worth
More
much.
edgy.
No, just not worth. It is a
Cas-
fool's errand, but I wanted to just make sure that they were okay.
If they're meant for you, that's what they'll be seeing. They're not gonna bother about all. And then I just wave my hands in front of you. This. They'll be thinking about the fact that you wanted to come and check up on them. If they're right for you, that is. If
Do
you
try,
know,
yeah.
My concern is that every time I feel the slightest bit of passion or excitement in life, and he like just evaporates all of the water in the sauna.
Oh, I see.
And you do have the possibility of exploding.
Well,
Why didn't you just try an
We all
oil-based
do.
lubricant?
Sorry, oil lubricant.
Yeah, instead of water-based.
You know, that would be
Then
very
it would be
bad
a
for
problem.
skincare.
I did. I think there's also the problem of her body.
Well, I can come, and then I'll just stand by with the healing.
You're just gonna stick around and watch.
Yep, I'll just watch, and then I'll heal people when needed.
Oh dear.
I
Wow.
don't know.
You make it
Cascade is voyeurism.
You make it sound like this isn't your first time doing something like that. Is this how they do it up north?
Well, I think, yeah, maybe. I don't really know.
Oh my god. Oh.
So what's the first thing on the order then to get on the boat?
I think so. I mean, so we basically have 23 days, I think it was, to get to Port Edrin, inform Aiden, kind of speak to who we need to do. There's, learn a bit more about what's going on with the banking guild. Set up Cookie, very important. And then
Yes.
I guess we can maybe go carry us on the way back. and then Rodrana on the way back to Lenora. That'd be my guess.
Wait, that wouldn't work, would it? Because Calrius is all the way over there, and Rodrana is where Port Edrin is.
So we go Calrius, Port Edrin, and then Port Edrin to Rodrana, and then back
Right.
to Lenora. That would be my guess.
Okay, why are
I
we going
would've
to
thought we
Calrius?
To check up on Stag and Snot. I would
And
have thought
also-
we were.
Oh, right, yeah.
And also, yeah.
I don't think we should arrive in a giant banking guild ship and skip Calrius.
That's
Yeah.
a good point.
Well,
I feel like Calrius is also, you know, if there's going to be an attack by a Ignis Armada,
so
it's probably going to be
I,
Calrius, right?
I have no love for Rodrana elves, but so I am happy to go to Calrius if you want to go to Rodrana and deal with the peace talks. I will be of probably minimal use and probably more annoyance than anything else.
Nero's
we-
a Rodranan elf.
What's that? Rhaenyra.
Nero's a Rodranan
Well,
elf.
she is
Rodrana elf.
an honorary Rodrana elf at best.
Well, one of the good ones heard this before.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Okay, what was the one at the bottom that has the red line across the word?
That's
Illarion?
Jirian.
Jirian. We could
yeah.
drop you there, and then you could walk.
That is like on the
enemy
front
territory.
Yeah, that's pretty much on the front line.
That's fine. I'll just cross. It's cool.
What about Peda?
I assume you can get a vessel though from Peda to maybe to somewhere else. Is this a bad idea, Michael? Do you think? I mean, from your perspective.
It's going to be the most efficient to just do it with the boat, either whatever way. Because like getting, chartering a ship is going to be either very expensive or very limited. Just because it is a war zone, people aren't really likely to want to risk their vessels when it could just get sunk.
So is it easier to go to Calrius first, and then Port Edrin, and then I don't know where the hell we're going for peace talks? But...
Well, listen. So, if you want to have the boat with you at all times, it's probably better to go straight to Port Edrin than go to Calrius.
we were thinking of selling it.
If you're gonna, well, you'd have to sell it in Port Edrin.
Yeah, which we saw.
You could from Port Edrin you can get a ship anywhere.
Yeah.
But from any city to any random city to any random city, it might be harder. But Port Edrin, you could even if you don't get a boat to a certain area, you could just get on a military boat, just have them to give you a lift,
I have a question.
Yeah.
This pink circle here doesn't look like the other pink circles. Is that another Azira moon way?
That was where you first went. That's where the temple is.
Well, if we're going to
Azira.
be going there, we maybe don't need to go all the way back to Lenora.
Yeah,
Just take that one Twin Dandan.
but wouldn't that be through the rebel
It would be-
area?
So I'm confused. So we'd be going to. I'm confused.
Because you were saying about going back from Rodrana to Lenora, I was thinking that if we park by here, we can just pop over there and then.
Well, we would have
teleport.
to cross the front lines,
Yeah.
and if I remember from my previous adventure, the God Drill wood was absolutely full of Ignis men.
Ignis.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably
Also, you had a lot-
quicker to sail the coast than to walk up into
Yeah.
the mountains.
Well, if you remember how much trouble you had getting to that place in the first place,
Yeah.
Yeah.
it was quite.
I
a
mean,
bit
we
of a
would need to walk up into the mountains in the first place anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's fine because it's not on the other side of the line.
Yeah,
The
fair
first
point.
circle we did, wherever it's
Could we not go up this
R.
river instead of Lenora?
Yeah, I mean, you can take rivers.
Yeah, I mean we could on the way back. Yeah, I mean we could go to Cameroon and take the river up. Yeah.
Not with the boat. Sorry, not with
Oh,
the.
right, okay.
Yeah, no, those rivers aren't big enough for a ship of the line to trudge their way through. Sorry.
I
Maybe
think coming
maybe a
back-
couple are.
Yeah, I think we'd
So-
come back with a smaller boat, right? We wouldn't be.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
fine.
because if we're going to be turning in the
We
ship
wouldn't
the
have the
line,
thingy,
'cause it's a
yeah.
bit overkill for our needs.
It is rather.
It's like, oh yeah, this is just to get us 5 around.
Yeah.
How many sailors would we need?
To get it back to Port Adrian, yeah.
I'll say like 20. But Prince Solthicius has said that he'll be able to help you out with some people. Like there'll be people who can man a ship in the
Yeah.
city.
And if they don't,
So
we
you'll
can
just have to
find
pay.
some.
You'll just have to pay them.
Can we just like? I was saying this today. Can we just press gang them?
You can press gang people if you want.
We're not press ganging anyone.
It might cause some tension issues if you're, the Adana Merchant Company press ganging side and civilians into your navy to go fight.
Yeah, especially when we
Yeah.
can just pay them not that much,
Yeah, it'd be like a silver a day.
considering we're going to be coming into
Then we
a
don't have to pay
quite
them.
hefty payday.
You don't have to pay them at all, though.
Don't have to do anything. Okay, fine. Right. Okay. So I mean, that sounds fairly reasonable. So it has like our first. We're going to go directly to Port Adrian, or we're going via Kelrius? What's the easier way of doing it?
I think direct's probably best. I think the less time
Fine.
that we
Sure.
have this massive asset,
Yep.
the better.
Fine.
Plus, like, it's good for the war effort, right? For them to have this ship usable ASAP.
Agree.
Also, your girlfriend might think that that you're compensating for something.
Oh,
You just appear in an absolutely huge ship.
yes.
Should
ASAP.
we take a break? We'll take a 15-minute break maybe, and then we'll come
Alright.
back.
All
Sound good?
right.
All right.
All right,
Alright, see you in a sec.
see you in a bit.
All right, welcome back. So just before the break, the party were just talking and doing various things around the city of Lenora. I mean, I can just move us to the next day where you're all refreshed and ready to get sorted. I know that in the break, a couple of you had things that you just went and did, like pick up some shopping. Anything else? Or should I just move on to the next day?
Did Hanira pick up the Sidequests?
Oh, you can just
Oh, yeah.
you can pick up a whole volume of it if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. That's it.
Which volume is it?
That's just free. No, it's just all of them.
All of them?
Yeah.
You're making it too easy. No, that's
That's
fine. There's a lot of books
you-
to carry.
You've got a boat, so you can store them in there.
That is very true. Okay, cool.
So let's say at the last part of the day, you just were organizing, getting a few people, recruiting people to man the ship. So, how many people do you want? Like the bare necessity you need is probably about 20.
Probably want a bit bit extra in case
Ready?
we
there'll be
attacked
if they're relatively, and also depends how trained they are. Depends on how much charge you want, how much they're going to charge. So, the bottom of the barrel, just like sea noobs, are going to be like a silver a day. Quite well experienced sailors will be 2 silver a day, and then like top of the line will be 4 or 5.
so we could make
5 gold a day.
silver.
5 silver.
Silver.
Okay.
We could maybe get like 1 or 2 of the good ones to actually like run things. basically be the captain. Like captain and first mate, and then hire some less good people to fill out the ranks.
As long as they don't like mutiny us halfway.
I would like everyone to know that when you said sea noobs, Robin heard bottom of the barrel sea nudes.
No.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, this mermaid, she's old and withered. Can't tell fish from. No, I won't. I won't. I won't.
Oh, here we go.
I won't finish that.
Right. Yeah, let's continue on. So, so yeah, what are you thinking? You could probably get a decent crew together. Of about 30.
Mm-hmm.
30.
30?
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
If someone, all right, someone needs to nominate themselves as captain, and basically what that means is you're gonna have to keep track of everything to do with the ship. Because I'm
I'll
not.
do it. I'll do it.
Hang
Wait,
on.
sorry.
Please get in there quicker.
I've been on
does
the only
anyone-
one on
Lose,
the.
you lose. You snooze, you
I've-
lose.
Is
I've
anyone
been on the boat
actually?
Twice.
Henning, I
Is
think,
anyone
has-
actually proficient
Yeah.
No.
with sea vehicles?
Well, I think Henning's done some time, hasn't
He was on a boat for a long time.
Yeah,
How many of you have
I've
actually
lived.
been on a boat?
I mean, I've lived in a house
We've
for a
all
while.
been
That
on a
doesn't make
boat.
me proficient with building houses.
he? But I think he was contributing to the main,
Hmm.
the workings of it.
I did my bit here and there.
I have been on a boat twice. 3 times if you count when we got off the boat.
And how much work
went
did
onto
you do
that
on?
island.
How much work did you do on the boat?
Loads.
Like what?
I looked at the sea life and I
I
counted
think I'll
the sea life.
nominate myself.
Right, Enning.
I also want to nominate
Okay.
myself.
Right, Enning. No bullshit. Do you actually know what you're doing?
Yes, I helped with the sales and stuff. That more than any of you've done.
Right, so we still need a proper captain, though, right? Like someone.
Yes, no, I don't nominate myself as.
Or
permanent.
maybe a first mate in quotes that's like actually going to run shit.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
Would
sure
I
we
be
can
able-
find some proficient sailors around here somewhere.
Would I be able to inquire as to whether the captain is an actual role where we would need to have a specific stat for, or is that metagaming?
Generally, you're going to need someone to navigate. You're going to
Okay, yeah,
need.
that's not me.
The captain doesn't really have like as hard requirements. It's more that in the case when shit goes down, everyone needs to listen to the captain, basically. Like, so it has to be someone that, yeah, is everyone's going to be able to fall behind,
So
necessarily.
someone charismatic.
And like, for the sake of how we're going to run, if there's ship combat, the captain is going to be the one organizing the like on the macro map of the ship, right? Like, so everyone's going to have their role on the ship if people are firing cannons or whatever, but the captain's going to be the person actually commanding the ship to go places, and it's going to be what they say goes.
I think we should let him.
Temporarily, of course, until we find a qualified captain. But
When you
do it
say
for a bit.
you need someone to navigate,
That's going to require an actual role.
right? Okay, is that mostly like perception stuff, or
Yeah, but well, is it let me have a look. So I think what are the various skills? So the person with the best perception, I mean, you probably don't want them to be the navigator because you want them on lookout.
right? Okay.
Person with the highest survival, maybe. Like someone who can read maps. I guess survival.
Plus 12, yeah. On survival.
I'd be happy being on lookout, but other than that, I don't.
What's your perception? Plus.
My perception is plus 18.
That sounds like it's probably the highest.
I'm gonna make
who's
a new folder for the ship stuff, just so you can
Okay.
keep everything under.
Who's got the highest survival?
I have +2, so not me. I assume not me.
Ah, +0.
I'm trained plus 12.
Oh yeah, I do. I can be trained though. I have it in the old focus point pool, so I can make untrained skills trained. But it'd be better if somebody was actually trained.
I guess
I
Cascus
think
is gonna do that then.
Cascus, yeah.
So what's that role? Sorry, he's doing. Is it navigating?
Yeah.
I don't need a roll just yet, but yeah, that would be
Okay.
the main.
Fine.
Like basically, the navigator every day
Yeah.
is going to make a roll, and depending on how good the roll goes, depends if you go in the right direction or not.
Excellent.
Can't wait to be in this endless
It's just like, okay, this is not... obviously like if you've got something like a compass and navigational maps and tools, which the ship will all have, it'll be a lot easier.
Okay. Awesome.
Also, how to navigate a ship using Starlight for Dummies, which all ships must have.
By law.
Yeah.
We should get a compass.
The,
We
the
already
ship,
have
the
a
ship,
compass.
We have
yeah, the
one.
ship will have a whole
But
bunch.
does it have a good compass? Like a magic one?
Well, I get a new compass. You're welcome to.
I just really don't want to get lost.
I don't think any of us do.
Look, we'll
Yeah,
hire,
it's
we'll
not
hire
usually
some.
something people seek out.
Look, we'll hire a few people. We'll hire some people that actually know what they're doing, and they'll get us there, all right? Our involvement in all this sailing stuff should be pretty minimal, because let's be honest, like, you know, even anything's got a little experience, but like, we don't really know what we're doing, right?
We
So
hire
hire some
people
people
who
that
like
do.
give us like modifier bonuses or something.
What's that?
Do people like if we have like an actual navigator on board? Does that mean that I get like a certain bonus to my roll?
No, you can just have them do it.
That sounds preferable.
You might be better than them. It depends how much,
Well, let's
depends how
see.
much you
I
want to
mean,
pay, because it's obviously like having ship grunts to just
Yeah,
man the ship
sure,
is
sure.
cheap. Having basically a hireling adventurer with you who's good at
fine.
navigation is going to be
I will do the navigating. Oh, fine. Okay, so I mean, should we just hire a bunch of people and then should we?
So I'll say, if you want like an all-round kind of good ship, you want, I'll say like 15 cheapos, and then maybe you'd want like 5 or 6 kind of better sailors, and then you'd want maybe 2 or 3. Wait, how many is that? Then maybe you'd want maybe 5 or 6 kind of better ones. Hang on, let me just have a look. I got the ship crew manifest here. Anyone can add to it, but.
Where's my notes gone? I'm confused. Oh, session 51.
I'm gonna call them shipmates, officers, shipmates and officers, I guess.
Okay.
So maybe, did you say you wanted about 30 people?
Well, whatever you think will get us there in one piece.
Yeah, I think we want to get there comfortably, right? We don't.
Yeah, 20 shipmates and 10 officers would be good.
Yes.
So that'll be the officers will be like 2 silver pieces a day, and the shipmates will be 1. So
Sweet.
that'll be 40 silver pieces a day total.
Okay.
I think we can manage that.
Okay. Cool. Yep.
So that's 4 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's right. That's fine.
Are there any other costs to running the ship, or is that basically it?
So you have a hex weave, and they're side down, so you can provide them with food.
If we want to.
If you want to feed them.
Yeah.
I was more saying if we wanted to use the hex weave, because we haven't really been doing that thus far, have we?
Yeah.
Unless one comes with the ship, which would be great, but I doubt it.
Oh, yeah. Also, Hanira, at some point, Vance kind of just nudges you and says, "If you want lessons on how to use it, let him know, and he'll help you."
Yeah, I was gonna do that once we had set sail.
Cool.
I didn't know he could help me, but that's very helpful. Does he just hang around? Does he watch from the shadows, like, or invisible? Everything we do.
It's in the sword.
Yeah, but
Yeah, so pretty much anything Henning sees, he sees.
He just pops.
Okay.
He just pops up every now and then at various points of interest. Go, hey, did you know that you can do this?
He's got an exclamation mark over his head. He like teaches you all about, the tutorial stuff. And press X and you do it. Okay, so you can bring food with you, but obviously that'd be more expensive.
Let's just go Hexweave. That sounds better. Like, why not?
Yeah.
But as long as Cookie has enough to provide him with ample materials to make good on the ship.
Okay, say materials, not food, not ingredients.
Yes, I was very
not,
careful about how I worded
not
that.
ingredients, materials.
Yeah, he might be wanting to try some exotic new dishes, and I think we should support him.
Okay, so let's say, in the evening you manage to find enough crew, so we'll go to the next day then.
Yep.
Third day doesn't matter. So
Not too many days passed by. We were in a bit of a hurry, noting the
All right. Well, so dawn breaks on the next day, and the ship is being manned. The sailors that you've hired are arriving. They one by one kind of introduce themselves, but you'll get more chance to see them when you're actually on the journey. Any last bits whilst you're in Lenora then? What do you fancy doing?
So I don't think so none of the missions. So there's the various side missions we can do around. I don't know, quests to kill certain beasts or visit holy shrines. None of that's in Rodrana, is it?
You could ask for one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we could maybe stock up on side quests. I just worry that they might take too long. It will take too long in Rodrana. That's my only concern.
Yeah.
Maybe ask Larandon if there's anything.
Is there anything?
If anything he needs from Port Edrin can't get locally.
Sure, that's a good shout. Let's do that. And then also we need to ask and figure out where we're supposed to be going in Rodrana, where we could go in Rodrana for these peace accords stuff. Because I don't think we know the answer to that, unless somebody can correct me and say I'm wrong.
There's those weird portals, but I don't know if they work anymore.
yeah.
Okay, so maybe it's your brother, Anira. Maybe just a thought.
But yeah,
If they haven't killed him.
they haven't killed him.
They haven't killed him. He probably, I reckon, would have an idea. Have a good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. I don't think then that we need. I imagine not many Rodrons know much. Sorry, the people here know much about it anyway. So. Okay, cool. So I think other than that, so we'll go talk to Loranican quickly and just kind of like see if there's anything he wants from Port Edron or maybe Rodrana if we in a pinch. I think that will be as much as we'll do there.
Okay. You find Lorandon working in the palace. He says, "Oh, fantastic! You're back. Did you have a good night? Get some rest."
Yeah, not too bad.
About as good as you can get.
Good. A birdie told me you might be thinking about leaving.
Yeah, we're heading
Poor
down.
birdie.
This one, he like pulls out a tiny little like clockwork bird.
You've been
Oh.
spying on us.
I haven't been spying. They just fly around all over the city. It just happened. I just happen to hear things.
So you're spying on everyone.
Yes, I guess you could say it like that. Sorry, they don't have any rights.
Anyway,
I just wanted to give you a suggestion of something that you could bring back to me, perhaps.
all right. Yeah, that's what we came to ask about, actually. You know, some stuff maybe can't get up here.
In the jungles of Rodrana, it's not necessarily deep in the jungles, but just growing all over Rodrana, there is a certain tree called Darkwood. It's very important that I maybe get a few samples. By samples, I mean enough to make weapons with.
Why would you want to make a wooden weapon?
I've been doing some research. The news of Daeron Kaidus's strange immortal ascension has spread. I'm just following important things in various books I've read about immortal beings.
So you think he's a vampire? You're gonna stake him through the hearts? Stab,
That-
stab.
That is a remedy that I have heard of that might work. So I just anything that we can get. Darkwood is supposed to be very good for such a thing.
Well, it's certainly worth a go.
However, as it was something I was working on when you first met me, I want you to have this just to test with, and assuming you survive, you can let me know how it goes. He hands over the kind of little lantern thing that he had before. That stopped that crossbow bolt. And he hands it over to you. This is some call it. Well, I'm trying to come up with a name for it. Currently, arrow catch is the thing that's kind of sticking in my mind. But it just kind of produces a force field. It only has a few charges in it before you have to reset it, but it should be able to stop ambushes. That's the main thing.
All right. How does it work?
It just sort of has a passive field that goes around. Just don't move too quickly around it. It might set it off. Nothing like don't fire any fast-moving objects near it.
Right.
But it's a 20-foot diameter sphere around it. Anything moving over the speed of 40 miles per hour, it will be stopped by it, and it will harmlessly fall to the floor, hopefully.
Right.
But it only really works on wood.
So if someone fires a metal crossbow bolt.
Yes, I did originally think of having metal as part of that, but then people are always going really fast around metal.
What if it is a metal-tipped wooden arrow? I'm just thinking.
It as long as there's wood.
Or a bullet. Right. Okay.
It's well, anyway. Take it with you. Let me know how it goes. If it goes horrifically wrong, tell me specifically how and why, and I'll try and fix it.
What if
And
it
then
kills
we'll-
us?
Well, then I won't hear back from you, will I?
Fair.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
Fair
fair.
point.
Yeah, not sure why you asked it, to be honest.
Well, if he was so concerned about feedback, I was just thinking, you're not going to get any feedback if we're dead.
No, but that's the same with any kind of feedback. Oh, someone, I asked for feedback when someone ate some food I cooked and they died, and oh no, I guess the feedback I know is that my cooking is shit.
I mean, they could have died from other means.
Yes, but what must you assume in that scenario, Cyan? What are the logic?
Well, my cooking is
Cyan
actually
doesn't-
impeccable.
Sometimes I do not know why we have him around. So stupid.
Larandon says, and thank you all again for dealing with the fold. It was I had a walk over there last night, and it was very brutal how you skewered them all on spikes outside there.
Oh, that wasn't us. Those were the elemental stuff.
Yeah, they were there when we got there. No, really.
He,
They actually
he
were
taps his
there.
nose and goes,
We
"Okay,
got there.
I know what you're saying."
No, really.
Legitimately, we did not do that. We would actually tell you if we did that, but we did not.
I whisper.
Well-
I whisper to him. We did it.
Well, if you didn't, that's a shame, because a lot of people seem to find you very fearsome.
Oh, yeah,
and
we did do it.
and the tales of your exploits have travelled around the city very quickly.
Yes.
No, we definitely did it. It was definitely us.
In a good way, or a we want them out of our fucking city way?
Well, let's just say there's there's a desire for blood amongst the Sidequests people that has not been satisfied for a while in the city. No, I think they respect your power. I guess that's generally what people do with power, isn't it? They respect it, and then
Or they abuse it,
sure.
as happened not long ago, actually.
All right.
Well, that being said, I hope your travels send you off well. I suppose I won't see you for a little while.
Indeed.
Yeah, be a little bit. All right. We're off to pick up some more side quests. We'll see you in a bit.
Very well. Where
We're
you going
looking
now?
for people with exclamation marks above their heads.
Okay. You want to go to the Whisper Leaf Collector?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. You make your way down into the spooky under city. Go to the Temple of Forgotten Lore. The monks, when you enter, there's a bunch of monks sort of stood around in a circle, all kind of psychically talking to each other. They all turn around and turn to you. Thank you for saving the city against the fold.
How did you fare? There was the whole business with them looking for the temple underground.
Darren Kydus's influence never protruded too far underground.
Oh, that's good at least.
Have you come to take the next challenge of our gauntlet?
Not today, but we intend to come back and be the best competitors you have ever seen.
Very
some
well.
point.
So you wish to ask for an assignment?
Well, we are heading to Rotrana, albeit not for too long. But we were wondering if you had any assignments in that area that we could perhaps take advantage of.
Rodrana. That is a place we do not often get assignments from. But just a second.
Making one up.
What level are you?
10.
You're 10. Okay, they say in the jungle, if you are planning on staying at Rodrana and looking for such a creature, we could find you. He looks through a large book. Deep in the jungles of Rodrana, near the city of Alnora, in the Mendelin Woods, is a frostworm. which needs capturing.
Why does it need capturing?
It has eaten a number of soldiers on the front line.
Okay.
It is a tough creature, but I'm sure it is within your abilities.
How long will something like this usually take someone?
If you know what to look for, it shouldn't take very long to track it down. It tends to live in the mountains. Something must have pushed it down nearer the city.
So we don't stab it till... This is a meta question. So we don't stab it till all the numbers go down. We...
If you knock it out, you will be able to capture it with this. And they pass you a sort of little badge with a leaf on it.
Okay, but like I was asking, like, how does that function? Do we need to like make sure we don't hit a certain threshold with like damage, or
Just do not do lethal damage to it to the point that it kills it.
right? Okay.
If you wish to know more about this creature, you can look in our archives.
Might be a good idea.
FYI, it won't take you long to look in the archive. So the way that we're gonna do this is that when they assign you a creature, you can look at the stat sheet, but it's going to be an elite version of that creature, so it's not just a basic one. So it's going to effectively be a level higher.
So we're allowed to just look it up on.
Yeah, so it's a frostworm on Archives of Nethys, but it'll be level 30. It'll be a elite creature, so you can change it to elite on Archives of Nethys.
Elite level 13.
Yeah.
Frost. Okay.
If you wish for me to screenshot it to you and send it to you, I can do that as well.
That might be a nice one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because the idea is just like so you can like fight a creature that is quite difficult but have the advantage on it rather than it like ambushing you or something. And you can sort of come up with whatever way that you want to try and capture it.
So just for clarification, they're always elite regardless of if we look at them in the archive or not.
Oh, so the creature that they ask you to capture is usually a specific creature that's causing a fuss in a certain area.
Right.
And that's an elite. That'll be an elite version of the base stat block.
Yeah, so it's not like if we look it up, then it becomes stronger or anything.
Oh no.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
It was always they're always gonna the creatures they assign you are always gonna be elite, and they're always gonna be the creature's always gonna be a couple of levels higher than your party when you get them.
Okay.
Weak to fire, which would be a nice change of pace.
Yeah, that's so true. That's exciting.
Just throw Cascus at it, then it'll die.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, we don't want it to die.
Let it eat him, and then it'll kill it from the inside.
So they give you that bit of information, and then send you on your way. So anything else? There was Silver Shadow will give you something as well.
Yep.
Oh yeah, Silver Shadow says when you mentioned going to Radrana, she says, "Oh Radrana, there are a number of holy sites that have been long since destroyed in Radrana. Unfortunately, I don't think I have anything for you there. I can assign you something in a Kate, but it depends when you'll next be here.
And we aim to be here before the next full moon.
Before the next full moon.
Mm.
Very well. In that case, if you can make your way to Herazdan, there's an ancient temple there. It's the Temple of the Forsworn.
Does that mean anything to us?
No.
Where's Harrisdan? On the,
Heristan
old-
is that abandoned
the
city
old
that you
map.
went through.
Oh yeah, fine. Okay.
Oh, lovely. I love Harrisdan.
Yeah.
Wasn't
We've had-
creepy at all.
Oh god, I can't find my notes on Silver Shadow.
We've heard. th- I, I heard something about there might be a rift there. If you can try and close it.
Oh, of course, there's a rift in Harrisdan. Why couldn't it be somewhere nice? Like,
As in a gloom rift, no?
Most probably, yes.
Oh, but this was not. This is a. How do you know about this rift? The banking guild had no idea that there was a rift there.
I have been seeing the spiritual veil that a kid in lets me see through has been the more that the gloom has been cracking through the fabric of reality, the more I see, and the more I'm aware and attuned to them.
is this something with a time limit, or is this something we can have a look at later?
It's well, the whole situation with the gloom has a time limit, but I have no other prospects of getting it checked out. So whenever you can do it, if you can.
Okay.
If you can't, let me know. I can try and get another group to do it.
What I mean is, like, would this be a thing we would... Because we've got business on the full moon, is this something that we would need to take some time for before the full moon, or is this something you would be okay with us doing after the full moon?
Oh well, whenever there is a full moon, the gloom is at its closest point. That's when the cracks are going to widen the most. By my predictions, we may have 8 or 9 full moons left.
Right.
Okay, so that's like 3-4 months. Three at the end of the year, maybe next year, mid next year.
Yeah.
That's an
That's-
estimate.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's 8 or 9 full moons until the gloom, like, proper. It just like makes a like slamming two hands together motion.
That's when it could feasibly start doing that.
Nice.
I'm not sure how long the process of the full, merging will be. But I'm sure it'll be.
So then shit might start getting bad for.
It might take
the
a year
content.
from there. It might take a month. It might be a day. I'm
I
not
see.
sure.
Anyway.
The closer we get to it, the more I'll know. But this is all the information I have for now.
And sorry, how do we go about closing this rift? It does not feel like a simple job.
Radiant magic. That's pretty much the best way to close rifts.
I was concerned about the way you were saying that. Your tone seemed to suggest like you were asking a question more than offering a solution, and I got worried.
You do not need to-
Yes, trying to dispel or trying to use radiant magic, that's usually the best ways of dealing with something like that. It depends how the rifts got started. If it was caused just through the cracks, it'll be harder to mend. If it was started by someone for some reason, a lot of people foolishly open rifts willy-nilly thinking that they can control them. Then we'll see. But radiant should help.
Very good. And just one quick question: Have you ever come across the elf Cadell?
Yes, I have.
You didn't sound very pleased.
I only ask because you two, you seem to have common interests potentially.
Common interests. He always pretends to have interests above his station. He's just a fool.
A fool in the sense of a jester, or the fool in the sense of he's a fucking moron?
He is a jester. That is his official position. But he is a fool in the other sense as well. He's a thief as well. He stole a lot of things from a lot of powerful people in this city.
We heard about that.
You would be wise to not get too close to him. Whatever snake oil he's selling.
You seem very fond of him. Did he do something to you?
I said he was a thief, did I not?
What did he steal from you?
It would be unladylike to say.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh, oh.
Well, he never said that. He never said that.
Yeah, I don't know what you're all assuming.
I don't know. I thought you made it pretty clear.
Yeah. I thought it was very clearly a certain thing.
I will say nothing more on this issue. Yes, you'll be
So-
best to be very... Don't take him at his word. He'll say what he wants you to hear. There's something very charming about him.
Okay. I will try not to be charmed like you are.
I don't like him that way. It's not my type.
Well, I hear that you're going.
We're getting thrown out, guys.
See you
All
later.
right, well, take a hint. All right, let's go.
We're in the middle of a war here.
Yeah, we got a ship to sail somehow.
He's just in the war room.
Yeah, I mean, any last bit? Did someone make a note of all that stuff? Sorry.
I have, yeah.
We've been taking
Cool.
what generally or specifically or what?
Oh no, just if you send them over to me, I'll just add them onto my thing instead.
I'll just put it in the general chat.
Cool. I was gonna make a journal entry thing just for current tasks as well.
Mhm.
All right. I can always add that later. Coming to the docks, you see the ship ready for sailing. The sails are unfurled, but the anchor is still down. A number of rowboats are going back and forth to the ship with mostly just barrels of water. But anything else? Any last bits, anyone?
I don't think so. I can't think of any. Nothing jumps to
No,
mind.
don't think so.
Have I had any letters back? Because we sent it last night, didn't we? I just wondered if anything had come back.
Nothing's come back yet.
If we leave, will they know where to send the bird? Is it a magic bird?
It depends if they send one back to you or not.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
But you know, generally, like they'll send important messages by something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, you step on the rowboat and you sail out to the boat. Step on board. The sailors, mostly kind of younger, poorer elven sorts, speaking amongst themselves. They all line up on deck and sort of present themselves for service. The officers. So yeah, they've sort of organized them into a kind of basic structure. I mean, the officers aren't like necessarily military officers in terms of giving orders, but they just have a bit more experience. And are showing around. A couple of them say to you, we are not entirely familiar with human ships, but they do not work so differently. If you give us just a day or two whilst traveling at half speed just to get hold of the ropes, maybe.
All right.
Very well.
Any adjustments you need made, give me a shout.
Very well. You see on the bottom deck a number of sailors who have just arrived are a bit nervous about the ogre sat by himself on the far side, like sat by himself, just like chowing down on a really really suspicious bit of meat, like attached to a bone, burping. He says, "Oh, what are you looking at?"
Nothing. We're friends.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to them. He points over to the elves who are sort of like looking quite sick.
If they say anything to you, Cookie, do let us know. We run an equal opportunity ship here, and
Please do
What does
not
that
eat
mean?
them.
What does that mean? Equal opportunity.
well, it means
All
that
races welcome.
I don't
Yeah.
want equal opportunity. I want more opportunity.
That's not what
I
that.
want as much as possible.
That's what that means.
Right. Well, I'm
Essentially.
glad we're on the same. Fair enough.
It
Have
means
you
your
all-
opportunity is equal to whatever you deserve.
That's,
That doesn't
that's a
sound
good way
very
of
fair,
summing
does it?
Within
Right.
limits.
He says, "Well, if you want, I can put some stew on. I've still got some bones from the last lot."
is this people
Oh.
bones or
Actually, I
Um,
was going to ask you about that. He whispers in close to you and says, "What do you plan with all these lot when you're done with the?"
we're not going to cook the staff?
What?
They're
Why
here to
not?
help sail the ship.
Yeah, come on, you won't have to pay them. You just all you need to do is just string them along until we get to nearby, and then yeah.
Okay, but then we would need to hire different people in every city, and by the time that we go from city to city, we're just going to garner a reputation of losing every single member of our crew every single time we land.
No, they all just ran off, didn't they?
Well,
Well,
then
they all
that's
fell overboard.
That's not much better. No, that is
Look,
also.
They all
much
fell
better.
overboard.
Look.
Every time we go anywhere, they all fell overboard.
Look,
So-
ethics aside, some meat
No
is
eating
just
must
not
starve.
that valuable. Just look, you just do your cooking, make some food. Avoid using that; it's frowned upon.
So I
And,
can't. Right, so you're saying just off the bat because I had an agreement with the last captain, and we made an agreement that we weren't going to eat anyone on the ship.
yeah, we'd like that.
Is that the
same-
sort of thing you
yeah,
want?
yeah,
That as-
that's that same agreement. Yeah,
I could eat people from other ships.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, you can
yeah.
Maybe
indulge
don't-
yourself.
maybe don't do it in front of the people here. They're insensitive to that kind of thing.
Oh, that's all right. Just tell them to not go in the kitchen. Then
You could eat my family. I would not mind.
is that a promise?
You can
You're a
eat
good
mine
boy.
too if you'd like.
You are really
Oh,
good.
you
boy.
can't
I'll
eat-
do that.
Yeah, not
You
mine.
can't eat mine.
Oh, I wonder what elf tastes like. Actually, not going to think about it. I'm going to be a good ogre. He gets up and makes his way into the kitchen. You just hear him kind of slamming things. You
Well,
know,
I
Oh,
see.
I-
I see
that wasn't
nothing wrong with
personally
this
slammed.
situation.
Nix is like, who is this person? Who is this?
Basically, there was a big ogre. We were fighting, and this guy came out, so I bribed him. Be us. That's how we got Cookie.
Yeah, but have you asked yourself why he's still here?
Very rude of you,
It's
Nick.
good to have around. We've got a chef, I suppose.
He eats people.
Yeah, but in this world where you've got lots of different races, is it any really different to us eating a sheep, for example?
Yeah, it is actually.
In what way?
A
Sheeps
sheep's-
don't cry.
They probably do when you kill them, or in the process of killing them.
I've never done that.
A sheep
Oh.
can't fathom its own mortality. That's where I draw the line.
I don't necessarily
I
think
don't
that's
know.
true.
Have you ever asked a sheep if it can fathom its
Can
own
anybody here? I
mortality?
believe there's a spell.
Actually,
that-
yeah, they just like
that.
they just like eating grass. To be honest, it's pretty much all that occupies their mind.
Well,
What about
I
fish?
I think we should put that to the test. Tenera, do you know how to cast that spell?
What spell?
I believe it's called Speak with
Talk to
Animals.
animals? No, I'm not.
Oh.
good.
What you're gonna like
I
just
can
before
learn
he's like gonna be lowered into the cookies pot. You do speak with animals. Goes, do you feel in this? Do you feel how this feels right now to be nearly
Are you
killed?
scared? Are you
Are you
scared?
it.
That's kind of
God,
psychotic.
we're monsters.
Well, no, I just want to prove a point to Cascus. Not Cascus. The
Calcifer.
Calcifer. It both begins with a C. That animals probably do get a little bit upset.
I'll tell you what, in a few days I can drop heal and pick up speak with animals if you like.
Well, I think that's definitely worth it.
I will still have 5 level 1 heals
We'll
from
be
my
fine.
staff.
I just want to prove a point.
You'd have to do it on a fish or something, not a sheep.
But no talking to Ankh.
I was going to
Because,
say,
frankly,
it'll be
the way that is that look in his eyes sometimes, I'm not quite sure I want to know what's going on in there.
Okay, but
I would
I
actually
want
be
to
very
know.
curious. I'd be very curious to talk to Hank. Actually,
But what
Right,
if
we'll
what if
do
we
it.
find out something horrible? What if speak with animals doesn't work because he's actually not an animal, he's something else?
oh, huh, that's a good point. We'll have to. Hanira, you know Totec magic, don't you?
Yes.
I think it would have
Cast it
come
on
up
Hank.
around I think it would have come up around Hank by now if
Well,
he was
If
magical.
I don't know how it works.
Imagine if I knew that Hank was magic this entire time and it was like necromancy.
I thought he was
Magic.
magic.
Yeah. No, no. This is a very suspicious dog giving off this energy.
I can't believe you're still using that fucking pronunciation.
I don't even know what's right and what's wrong anymore.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay.
I'm so upset.
An elf appears, one of the officers, and says, "Excuse me, my name is Ralnor.
Good to
Greetings.
meet
Nice to meet you.
you.
Just wanted to let you know that everything is ready for sailing now. If you wish to set sail."
All right. Well, Captain Enning, you want to give the order?
Set sail.
Ralnor goes, "Okay." he just walks away.
Is he
Oh,
like one of the newbies or one of
No,
the?
he was one of the officers.
I've always wanted to do that.
You hear a
Feeling
bell
really
sort of
inspired.
tolling above, and the sails filling with air as the anchor is lifted and raised and stored onto the ship. You feel the ship slowly begin to move as it lists in the ocean, and before long, the city of Lenore begins to shrink in the distance as the bay and the huge statue of Eretzar, which looms over the bay, sort of almost waves you goodbye.
Bye.
It's very peaceful. It's a peaceful summer's day. Very peaceful considering the crazy war which has just begun and is likely to take a lot of lives over the next year or so. But you managed to, drift out into the bay. The elves doing their bidding. After a little while, they sort of really get the hang of it, and they realize it's actually not that much different to an elven ship. In fact, it's actually maybe easier in some ways to run, more efficient. So where are we? So who's navigating, or are you going to get one of the officers to do it?
Well, ideally them. I mean, Cascus is happy to do it. Is the first thing I'd say. I don't know if that's necessary.
It's best that you try and take an active hand in at least the running of the ship, because they're new to this as well. Like they're new to the ship as well, and they're at least you've been on human ships. You've been around human sort of
Yes,
navigation
will
stuff.
help.
All right. Do you want to give me a navigation check?
Yes. How am I doing that?
So I will allow you to do.
I guess it's a survival check.
Yeah.
Oh. Nobody's got anything buffs.
Yeah,
Do I get any?
wait. Sorry. So,
Actually, I'll allow you to use your mercantile law skill.
It's plus 16. It's better.
not a save against fear. Next. Status bonus to one attack roll, perception check, or saving throw a skill check. There you go. +1.
Plus 1. Nice. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to roll this and then +1 to it. So that's a 23.
23.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah, fantastic. So, going up to the navigation room, the maps laid out, the compasses, the rulers, as well as like quite a lot of quite handy, just quick charts for like what stars to look to and stuff like that. You managed to quite accurately navigate it out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this ship of the line navigable, so you can all go on here. I'm going to just turn the vision off, so you should all be able to go on the ship of the line thing now.
I'm not seeing it.
I'm not.
If I
Oh,
do
there we
that,
There we go.
We're going.
Yeah.
We're on board. This looks like a very suspicious. Oh, no, it's the same ship, of course.
it's the same ship. You still got those guys in the
Yeah.
prison as well. The ogre hasn't actually eaten them yet.
Yet.
We have food supplies on board.
There
Not
are food supplies already on board that were stored.
Should we have brought some? Well, we can catch fish.
For the prisoners.
Didn't you say you were going to use the hex weave?
Oh yeah, I
That's
don't know how
not
to use it yet.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
but
Oh, you mean just right
maybe
now?
you did spend. I thought you spent some time with Ants. He said he would show
I
you
thought
it.
that was gonna be on the ship.
I think. Yeah, I was
Oh,
gonna do it when we
fine.
got on the ship.
Okay.
You've got enough supplies for this journey at least with the
Okay.
that's already on the ship, I'd say. Okay, cool. So yeah, you head out onto the open ocean. A rather calming sea breeze lapping on the deck. You've got whatever time you wish. Everything's being maintained and held down by the elves around, so you can just chill, you can sleep, you can do whatever.
Do we still have all this explosive here?
Yeah, there's an entire compartment of explosive material.
We just
Elsifer,
throw it
no.
off. Throw it off the boat.
No.
Well, that's
Why?
expensive.
Yeah, it's worth a lot. Like, you might be able to get another 10k's worth of gold from just
Ooh.
all the stuff that's on the ship additionally to the ship.
That's cool.
Is Port Dalron still?
Port
yeah,
Edron.
sorry, got me saying it now. Would we know? I suppose we might not know this yet, but is Port Edron still the same level of settlement as when we left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can upgrade, like, you can always invest in a city to upgrade it. That's absolutely something you can do.
A lot of investment, right?
Well, you have to set up a business and pour money into infrastructure. And
Well, I've kind of been
Level
trying.
it
I'm trying to do that in Carius, wasn't I? But I
Yeah,
guess
yeah,
that's
yeah.
like a bit of a smaller.
Do we
yeah,
know-
but it's generally a cash makes right thing. I'd say like you can, what is it, level 5 at the moment?
Yeah.
So I think from level 5 to level 10, you could get it up for 1,000 gold per level. And then from level 10 to level 15, it'll be like 2,500 per level. It's worth of investment. And the idea is basically that like the services that city will have will be able to
Right.
be more at your level. But you can also, you know, with the money, with the money you get from the ship, you can also do things like buy some property, i.e., a castle or
We were
like some
thinking, yeah.
land.
A castle on the coast.
You could build a castle pretty much
We,
anywhere.
we were thinking of well, I was suggesting, I don't know if I can't remember who said suggested it, but like given there's a war, it might be worthwhile if we try and take land on like I don't know Melstinde or somewhere like that, or Euthoria, you know, an island kind of off the off the mainland, which gives us a little bit of cover.
Well, any island that is currently, well, any bit of land that is currently like occupied by the rebels. Like, for example, if you destroyed the banking guild on Imyana, you could probably make a nice little castle there somewhere. You know,
That would be quite
Um,
cool. Be quite the. Uh,
because generally all these islands they are going to have owners already, but
you
Just-
can get rid of them.
yeah,
Just rock up,
yeah.
just rock up British style.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we have discovered this.
No one ever lived here before, and if they did, their brains aren't as big as ours.
I only see fauna.
All right.
Okay.
So, did you say you said to them that you were okay with going at half speed for the first at least the first day?
I'd like to. I don't know. The first evening, chat to Cookie, if that's okay. One evening while he's prepping for dinner or something.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So that evening, you sort of just pop in whilst he's chopping bits of like half rotten vegetables and mashing up old bits of dried biscuit,
Yeah.
just sort of turning it into some sort of strange bit of pie.
Casca seems like he feels a bit weird, just a little bit weird.
He's like Cookie's like humming to himself like some old sea shanty. He goes, "Did you want some?"
What are you cooking?
Sort of gruel, I think they call it.
Gruel. The food of the trodden on society.
If you say so. Goes back to smashing biscuits.
I had a question for you, Cookie. Do you have a parents, a family?
Family?
Hmm.
No.
Ah.
Back where I'm from, all ogres are part of the tribe, you know? We don't really have parents.
Well, I do have a family, and I do not like them very much. In fact, I dislike them so much. I wouldn't mind seeing some of them in this pot of yours.
Right. Well, yeah. I was having a think as well, though, that like after you said about how eating people maybe wasn't such a good thing, maybe I should give it up.
Oh, no. You don't have to give that up if you don't want to.
I don't have to.
What do you love doing? Does it make you feel creative urge inside of you?
Yeah, it does.
Then you should not get rid of that. That is the spark within you. He kind of goes up and presses his hand against his chest. This is you. Cookie. The people cooker.
Oh, that's a good name, that is. I'm going to use that.
You must keep it quiet from the others, though.
All,
You see,
all of the others?
Oh, yes. Just between us for now.
Okay.
You see, when you get back to Port Edron, you wanted to open a restaurant, did you not?
Yeah, I've always wanted to open a restaurant.
Well, I would like to help you make that dream become a reality, Cookie.
Really?
Yes.
What are you gonna? Are you gonna be my? Are you gonna work for me?
Oh, I'm going to make sure you are provided with enough of the stuff you do not care about to make sure that you can do the thing you love doing. And not just that, but, the other cooking as well.
There's not gonna be some sort of like catch here.
Well, you could call it a catch. You see, just like you have a thing that you love doing, you see, I have this feeling in me, this fire that burns, and it is troubling me, but I need to provide for it a little bit to keep the urge going, kind of going from me. And I need your help to help to help make my thing happen. You know, I want you to keep an eye on your clientele and inform me of any of my pesky family.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. I mean, the whole thing about the restaurant is like, I just really need a big pot and a tent, and that's
Oh,
kind of it.
we can do a bit better than a tent, no? We can make it look we can make it look a tent inside, no? But you want a proper building, you will get more people.
Do you think so?
I think so, but you are going to have to be a bit careful there. You see, people do not take kindly to eating people there, but we will make sure that is sorted out. You will get what you need. And as a sign of my goodwill, and he slips him a key. This is the key to the dungeon down in the bottom of the hold.
Oh, on the ship.
Yes.
Right. Oh, you mean those people that are in that cage?
Between us, yes?
He winks at you. Yeah, between us.
Very good, very good.
He
That's
puts the key like underneath some fat roll somewhere.
Cascus
Oh.
kind of leaves.
Okay, yes, you sneak out. You hear as you close the door behind you some sort of very not so subtle from Cookie. As you can hear him licking his lips and getting hungry.
Oh, he's gonna tell someone.
But Cascus has a penchant for trusting stupid people he shouldn't, so it's totally on brand.
Yeah, Cookie's his new Ugo, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh no.
Ugo didn't
Will he
eat
meet
people.
the same fate?
Yeah, just big guy.
He's just big, that's it.
Big and not very smart. I don't know.
He like, hey, look, it's his type.
it's pipe. Mhm.
Nice. Well, the ship continues on. This is where you get at the end of the first day. I'll move you to another day then. Right, Matt, do you want to give me another
Yeah, sure. Survival check.
check?
Have guidance. If it's the next day, it is the
Yeah.
next day. it's
I'll
fine.
assume that each time is a +1 as long as you're
Yeah.
here.
It's just yeah, you just have a morning meeting. Please
27.
plot in the thing for the day. Okay, 27. That's fine. Again, the ship ambles on. Anything anyone wants to do today? So you said you wanted to do maintenance on the ship on the journey. You're just handy manning it.
Yeah, so just sort of going around fixing up anything that maybe they could do with it, like maybe some proactive stuff, trying to get it in sort of best condition possible for when we turn it in.
Mm-hmm.
I'd also like to have a chat with Vance at some point today.
Same.
Okay.
And I want to read some Slidenara.
So all right. So Henning, Vance appears next to you, just sort of as you're looking out at the ocean for a bit.
It's odd, isn't it? This is kind of actually similar to how this whole thing began between you and I on a ship.
Yes, crossing in the night.
Why did you save me? Why me, of all people? When you could have chosen pretty much anyone. There's got to be a reason.
I was having a think about this recently. You know, there's been a thing differently recently. I felt it. Souls aren't quite passing on as they should.
I see.
I was just
Mine being one.
I was passing through. I heard your spiritual signal from a distance. You reminded me a lot of a similar sort of thing I had a long time ago. I felt that you had a power within you which is worth exploring.
I see. Well, where do we go from here? What's next? If you had a plan, what's the next step?
I'm following along for the ride at the moment.
I want Vera. I want their head. And I assume you're still willing to help with that.
I've lived up to my end of the bargain. I've given you the weapon that will not only give you your vengeance, but will make it extremely useful for yourself.
But I want more.
Have you not felt it? The sword.
It's powerful, yes, but I need to know how to unlock its full potential.
Keep killing.
Keep killing.
He looks at you and says, "Do you not feel that sense of adrenaline whenever it takes a life?"
I suppose. I just assumed that was just adrenaline of battle.
It is not. I do not live off just an idle soul. I require feeding.
You take the souls of everyone this blade kills.
I do. Does that make a difference?
No. So the more souls I feed you, the more powerful this sword becomes?
Yes. The more powerful we all become.
Right. Well, suppose that solves that problem.
So, like I said, I'm along for the ride. I don't mind.
Okay then. Well, do let me know if you have anything else that needs doing. I'd be interested, of course. Tit for tat, though. I do something for you. You do something for me.
I have a feeling that you'll meet your Vera soon enough.
Oh God.
Good. I look forward to having another meeting with them. This time with this sword. Be a great soul to claim.
Vance walks off and chuckles to himself. He comes and finds you, Hanera.
Hello.
Knocks on the door, says, "Knock, knock." I don't know why people say that, knock, knock, when they knock. I
Well,
find that
they say it
strange.
instead of knocking, don't they?
Oh, is that how they do it? I've always just knocked at the same time. Well,
No. Maybe, yeah, okay. We didn't really knock when I grew up. We had bells on every door.
bells, bells, oh, bells. I love the sound of
Yeah,
bells.
they sound a lot nicer, don't they?
It's a bit of
Anyway, I was wondering if you could help me harness the power of the hex weave.
Yes. Have you given it a try yet?
No, I'm too scared.
It's a good plan. It's kind of like a bird with a baby bird. And trying to get them to fly. You just got to do it.
Let's do it then. What should I make?
Well, it is hard. Different things are harder than others. The hardest being blood, of course.
Okay.
Water is probably the easiest.
And what are the other things?
Flour.
Mhm.
What's the other one? Is there another one? Egg.
Is that grain? Is that green? Oh no, sorry, no. Water, flour, blood. I think it was just those three, right?
I think it's just those two. So yeah, I think water's the easiest, and then flour, and then blood is very difficult because blood. Once you master the ability to control blood, you can do a lot of good things with it. You can heal people. You can cure them of poison in their bloodstream, venom.
Flour, milk, and water, flour, milk, and blood.
Milk. That's what
I
I
don't
missed.
need the hex weave to make milk.
It's been 10,000 years for me. Trust me, it's been a long time.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, right, let's go. Let's make some water. I'm not gonna flood the ship. Shall I do this on the top deck?
Just he looks around and out of a cupboard he just takes a mug and then puts it down on the table. Look at the mug and just with a hand over the hex weave, just imagine the cup filling with water.
Okay.
Make me an Arcana check.
Okay. $23.
Okay, you begin to focus. You close your eyes and you just imagine, what the water would sound like, what it would act like as the cup begins to rise. You open your eyes as a small amount of water, maybe a couple of drops. No, maybe like 100 mils of water has appeared in the cup. He says, "Oh, fantastic! That's a very good first try. Wow, amazing."
Thanks. What else can I do with it apart from make stuff?
There's certain technology which used to be controlled using hex weaves.
Oh, like what?
Well, it's what provides power to weapons like shade steel.
So can I control shade steel?
Control shade steel.
Yeah, you said it's used to control it.
It provides power to it. You do not need a hex weave nearby or in contact with it, but shade steel will run dry after enough use. If it hasn't had contact with the hex weave for long enough. That's
Could I suck the enchantment out of a shade steel weapon with my hex weave?
That's an interesting theory. I haven't thought of that before. I don't suppose there's any reason why you wouldn't be able to. It'd be difficult, but a powerful enough user and a powerful enough hex weave. I mean, you certainly got one.
Oh, okay. Certain tech. We saw a giant dragon. Would I be able to control that? It was.
Dragon.
Yeah, but it wasn't a real dragon.
More like ancient tech. The tech from the Age of Gods. If you were to find some sort of ancient temple or ancient mausoleum or tomb of some sort, I'm sure there'd be a lot of places in there that's only accessible to users of hex weaves.
Okay.
And it will of course come in handy when we go to a Shad's prison as well.
Right. Why?
This is the only way to get in.
Oh, okay. Well,
That
was very lucky for you.
specific hex weave, yes.
Yes. Okay.
It's a drop of Fandaran's blood.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you want to try flour?
Yeah.
All right. So FYI, water is going to have a DC of 20. Flour is going to have a DC of 30, and then blood is going to have a DC of 40.
What about milk?
Oh yeah. Let's say water is 20, milk is 25, flour is 30, and then blood is 40.
Okay, let's try milk. What happens if I don't succeed? Is that like a crit fail?
You will turn into the objects of the no, it'll just fail.
Turns into milk.
30.
Vance says there is only one which is dangerous to attempt, which is the blood one. It has been noted for people in the past that they have accidentally changed their blood type, or some sort of strange thing about their blood, which means that their body immediately rejects them. 30, that is a success. So focusing on the same cup, again, this time you do a bit better and a little bit, you fill it almost to the brim with milk.
So, like, what is the makeup of this milk? Is it like genetically my milk, or is it like dairy milk?
That's another question I've never been asked.
Well, does it taste like human milk or like mammal milk, or does it taste like I don't know. Let's try it. I'm gonna try it.
Mm.
Give it a try. It tastes very. I mean, you've definitely drank it before. Like Hexweave milk.
Yeah, maybe
It
I'll
just
ask.
it just tastes like the milk you know. It's quite
All
hard
right,
to tell.
I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna find who would have drunk milk? Henning?
I
You're
think
not.
we all would have drank milk at some point in our lives.
Well, I know. I'm
Are we
just
lactose
who
intolerant?
would
Right.
who wouldn't live in.
It doesn't taste like cow milk. It definitely tastes like something of its own. It's like a mixture between kind of almond milk and like goat's milk, somewhere in the middle.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna go and give some to people and
Can't-
let them taste my milk.
Is it
All right.
got two questions? One, is it warm?
It is like room temperature.
Not body temperature.
No.
And two, can it be fermented?
This is stressful.
No.
All right. Well, it's probably a good time to end.
You can't ferment milk.
Mike's right.
Yes, you
That-
can.
Well,
No,
apparently,
that's
apparently in this world you can, right? With the
No,
fermented goat's
exactly.
milk.
When we just talked about fermented goat's milk, Mike specifically said, because I queried this at the time, Mike specifically said that they add something to it rather than fermenting the milk. They just tell everyone
Yeah.
that they ferment
Right.
milk.
How do you remember that?
Yeast can't digest lactose sugars, so you can't
We're
ferment.
talking about how fermented milk
What about
works.
if you give them a what if you give them a lactase
10
bill?
o'clock at night on a Sunday.
So unrealistic. Why don't you have realistic fermented milk?
Just add in
Um,
some lactase. It's fine.
All right, let's end here today. Thanks for playing, everyone.
All right.
Wow,
Um,
what a wild ride that was.
what a
Thank
wild
you.
ride. We're thick in the second arc now. So yeah, thanks for playing. I'll see y'all next time. And yeah, right. Well, we'll see what that happens next on the adventures of Tag.
Yes,
All
we're
right.
doing it. Yes.
And until next time, tag, you're it.
Oh,